More than I need, what you want, girl, it's yours. Give me your feelings, I just can't ignore. 'Cause all I want is you, baby. Give me your time, all your love, I've been paid.
Hey everybody, it's me, Brandy.
And it's your boy Russell IV.
And welcome back to another episode of the What They Never Told Us podcast. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! You get an extra hand clap for that. It is Christmas Day here, and I'm positive that the day you're listening to this, it is the next day after Christmas. So we hope your holiday was dope. Hope it was blessed. Hope you had a good time with family and friends.
Hope you remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. We get so wrapped up in everything else, but I hope that there was a little space for Jesus on your day, because we definitely carved out a portion of ours for him.
And if nothing else, hope you just got a nice day off of work, got to eat some good food, and yeah, hope your day was blessed. So Merry Christmas. I forgot to silence my phone. Did anybody hear that? I did.
Everybody heard that.
Yeah.
I'm
not
professional.
going to do that.
Totally unprofessional.
Yeah. So it's still middle of the day for our Christmas. So we got some family plans, about to go over parental's house, eat, stuff our face, open up more gifts. Yeah. Is there any other part of the day? Is there any part of the day you're looking forward to, especially, or did you?
The part of the day that I was looking forward to is already over. I love seeing our kids open their gifts and being surprised and excited about what they got. So that's my favorite part. That's done and over with. So now I'm just ready to eat and go to bed.
Yeah, the part for me, and it hit me today because let me tell y'all, I was so frustrated yesterday. So yesterday I wasn't feeling good. I'm gonna find this little holiday bug or whatever. And we ordered this kitchen set for our youngest. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what I was expecting. I knew it came with some assembly, but when I tell you, when I looked at this instruction manual, I was like, okay, this is my whole night. This is the night right here. This is the evening.
It was definitely professional level. Like there's like beginner, intermediate, IKEA, and then professional. This was professional.
Like, who is trying to solve a puzzle? Like, it was literally a puzzle. 8-7 in the J5. You need 3 C screws in the A7. Latch hook. I knew it was something when they said how many tools I needed. They said I need a screwdriver, a drill, and a hammer. I don't know what the hammer was for, but they said I needed it.
We definitely did not use a hammer.
Didn't use a hammer. But now I think about, the back up at those panels that didn't have like a screw. Maybe that's what that was for.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyways,
I tried to be as least involved as I could until you officially tapped out, and then I came home and wrapped it up.
My body just gave out. I had a splitting headache. I started getting cold, even though I was sweating. Man, I laid down, fell asleep. Middle of what time was it? It wasn't that late.
It was like 9:30.
9:30. Went dead to sleep. I woke up. The toy was done. I got the majority of it done. Did you have to do a lot of work?
I did, but I mean, it was just the nature of what it was. Like, you did a bunch. Like, let's say if it was 20 pages in the book, you did 18 pages, and there was still, on them 2 pages, it was still an hour's worth of work.
This is how you know it was bad. I got so irritated when I started pulling out the pieces and reading the instruction manual. I could start questioning her. Now, why you order this? We said we was getting her a kitchen set. I mean, yeah, but why this one? She can't get the plastic ones?
Showed it to you and everything. Yeah, that looked good. So
it did look great. It looked great when we put it together, but who knew the process? That's a word. Huh? It looks good, but do you know what it takes to put it together?
All right. So we are here to
don't do that. Don't do that. You always stepping over the word. Don't step over the word. Is it not a word? I'm going to save it for TikTok.
That'll preach.
I'll save it for TikTok.
I gave it to you. That'll preach.
Coming soon. Look, let me tell you something.
Anyway.
It was good. And let me just sum it up. This morning, seeing her, before we even opened stuff up, she was over there messing. I was like, okay, I see what all of the labor and stuff. It made it all worth it in the moment. So
I was a little mad that I didn't get to see her face, because obviously they woke up before us and like, can we open presents? And because we didn't wrap it, it was just like next to the tree. So as soon as she went in there, she saw it. So by the time we got up out the bed, she was playing with it. So I wanted to see her face. That was the one thing that she asked for. Did you?
You didn't hear this morning? She said, so she came around that way. She came right up here. Can we open up the presents?
So we got great reactions out of all of the kids. So it was
Absolutely.
nice.
And everything, like, and once again, Christmas isn't about what's under the tree. It's about so much more than that. But of course, as parents, like, you want to make sure that, you know, your kids are getting fulfilled. And, you know, when you got good kids, you want to make sure, like, you show your love through your gift giving. So we definitely were stressing about that. And once again, it was just worth it when you see the expression. So I agree with you. Seeing them open up their presents was extremely dope.
And I can't wait to see Lily's first ankle bobble and her platform Crocs, because like that's like a rite of passage. Once you get
She's graceful.
Once you get platform Crocs, that ankle bobble's like, yeah, you made it.
Who knew you were setting her up?
You made it. I
Who
can't wait
knew
to
you were
see
setting her
it. They're
up?
gonna be so cute on her. I cannot wait. Now I just gotta find her gibbets. I'm so sad that I lost them.
It's all good. It's all good. They'll turn up. But yeah, Christmas is dope. Still going on, and hope your Christmas was good as well. As you know, we've been advertising. We've been telling y'all to send in y'all questions.
And boy, did you.
And boy, did you. Got some really good feedback from you guys. And we're happy to present another edition of Ask R&B. And we have that today. So how do you want to do this?
Let's just
Are we doing all
dive
of
right
these?
into it. I don't think we should do all. We'll get to our time limit. We're gonna save some for the live.
We need a part 1, part 2.
Yeah, because we did get a lot of questions and some that I believe could turn into larger conversations. So when we answer them here, it's just going to be really high level, like enough to say we answered the question. And then if we need to come back to some on the live or at a later episode, we will. So just go ahead and kick it off with the first one that's in there.
And let me say this. You don't have to wait for Ask R&B to do this. If at any point you have a question or you want some feedback, the inbox is always open. It's people that hit us up for stuff that have nothing to do with the show. You know, there's been times we just been sitting kicking it with complete strangers. Like,
Absolutely.
Can I ask you a question? What do you think about this? This is what I'm going through. And that's what this is for, right?
Yes.
Like, yes, it's a podcast, but I hope y'all know and hope y'all can feel that this is so much more than that for us, this ministry. And I know for a fact, I probably would do it because I just like talking, but she wouldn't be up here unless she was like, okay, this is what God wants. Because she's not about the spotlight. At all.
This last week was crazy. It's a testament to that. Our daughter, excuse me.
Good. Come on, look at you. Period. Let's go.
She had an asthma attack and was admitted to the hospital.
Wow.
And while she was upstairs, this is going to make us sound like terrible parents, but like while she was upstairs going through it, we were down here on live.
We had no idea.
No clue that she was like struggling, not because we don't pay attention, but just we went upstairs. When we came down here, she was fine.
Well, the context, it was a cold.
Yes.
She had a cold. And at that point, what we were dealing with was a cough. But apparently the cough triggered her asthma.
But just in the time that we were down here, she went from 0 to 100 like that. Yeah. And by the time we were done and got upstairs, she's like... I told her, I'm taking her to the emergency room. Like, I don't know what's happening. And long story short, she ended up having to get oxygen and being admitted overnight. So, yeah.
I just want to put that out there. We would not be down here live if we knew this.
That's why I said it's going to make us sound like terrible
When we
parents,
came down here,
truly.
it was just her having a cold. We came upstairs, it was something worse, okay?
She was fine.
Yeah, but, yeah, that was scary. That
Very
was
scary.
But God is good. She's better now. She's upstairs yelling, screaming, and playing with all them toys. So
Yes,
God
she
is
is.
good.
She has not stopped singing. She's been singing all day.
Lung capacity's back. Restored in Jesus' name.
God is good.
So we're rolling. All right. First question. All of these are anonymous. Number 1, how do you know that person that you're singing is the person God intends you to be with? Because of what happened to me in my past, I'm almost looking for perfect. Perfect doesn't exist, but I'm so fearful of making the wrong decision again. I'm almost in a place of frozenness, scared to move forward. That's a really thorough assessment and a really dope observation.
My initial answer to that would be, you don't know until you know. And there's no like checklist. In my opinion, there's no checklist. There's no criteria that somebody can give to you to say, okay, this is the right person. I think what God is asking for us is to trust him enough that he will deliver that person to us. And if it's not the right person, that he will remove them from our lives, but trusting him enough to bring that person to him, if that makes sense. Like, you're praying about that relationship, you're seeking God even before you get in a relationship, saying, God, I'm I know I can't make the right choices. I'm asking you to bring me that person. And then once that person comes, or a person comes, then praying about what type of relationship that person is, or a place that person is supposed to have in your life. But I don't think it's like a answer where we could say, God has given you this person if they do X, Y, and Z. That's my initial thought.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I'm well documented on this podcast of my journey of the idea of the one, right? I think the first time we had this conversation, I did in the worst way possible. And Randy was like, so what you trying to say?
Horrible.
Like, I'm not the one for you?
Horrible.
But I don't have an answer to the concept of the one yet. I lean different ways based on different things. When I think about her, I'm like, okay, this is what God had for us. Because clearly there were certain things that just happened that seemed so like above just timing. It was just like, okay, I can see how God intervened in this. I can see how God lined this up. But there's this idea of like free will, right? And how much does that play into the course of our lives, right? There's his preferred will, the things that he desires for us. And then there's the things that we have no say so in. Like, this is just what's going to happen. Who your parents are, the color of your skin, the way your face looks. That's just what it is. But then those things that are like our free will and what God blesses along the way. So I don't know if it's like, this is the one you're supposed to be with, or it's the one that's like, hey, you know what? This is something that could be really dope for you. And if your free will leads you that way, I'm going to bless it. I don't know. Either way it goes, as it pertains to you knowing who you should be with. And this is something that this question really resonated with me because I dealt with this. The manner of my heartbreak was my decision making, right? Like, my divorce really messed me up because, number one, I chose divorce, but I also chose that woman. Like, I asked her to marry me. I said yes. And in my mind, I was so sure. So when it fell apart, it made me question, all right, do you really know what you're looking for? Do you really know how to like settle in and say, okay, this is the person for you? And it made me question all of that. And I would say after my marriage, when I went back into the dating pool or whatever you call it, I questioned everything. And when there was something said or something that got on my nerves, I was like, okay, this ain't gonna work because I can see now. Or if there's something that's not right about you, this ain't gonna work. I'm not gonna make this mistake again. I'm not gonna see
You're
something
being hyper vigilant
to the point where it's halting, it's stopping me from developing relationships that, could be fruitful. But this is what I learned in this situation, right? As we were working through and navigating through the things that we need to navigate through to have a fruitful relationship, the whole second season of the podcast was documenting our marriage counseling. That might have been third season, whatever season it was, but marriage counseling, we were documenting, working through like some serious issues. And, to the point where we were like, dang, is this going to work? Are we ready to get married? But what that taught me is like, number one, we're unaware of how much we have an impact on the people we're with. So for instance, in our situation, at every point where there was something where I was like, dang, is this going to work? When I voiced it, even though she might not agree with me or see what I saw an ear to listen and a willingness to try, right? And for me, that was, okay, this is good because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is something I need to see. But as long as I'm willing to hear her and say, okay, I need to work on this. And as long as she's willing to hear me and say, okay, I might not see it that way, but let me just try. It was the green flag that I needed to pursue it. There is no perfection. You're right. You said that in your question. Like, there is no perfect. But as long as there's a willingness to hear and to try to adjust the things that might irritate you or adjust the things that might not be suitable for how you live your life or whatever the case may be, then it could work.
Yeah, and I believe part of the question said, like, the person was afraid. What did it say? I'm afraid to.
But I'm so fearful of making the wrong decision again. I'm almost in a place of frozenness.
So, as believers, I will say that I know for sure that the enemy uses fear as a tactic to keep you from the things that God wants you to have. So when you are trusting God for something, if there's any fear involved, it's either your faith or your fear. You're going to have to choose one. I would suggest you choose your faith in God to really believe that if he will, that he will send you the right person. And you have to line your choices up with your faith. So being discerning is not a bad thing. So if you see something that is a red flag, that's your ability to use your discernment and say, okay, this may not be the person for me. And then, as Russell said, you can put it to the test. But I don't think that if you just avoid things because of fear, you'll never find the right person. The right person does not mean the perfect person. And I believe that sometimes we are so dead set on finding perfect that we will weed out people who could really benefit us. Someone who tests you, someone who tries you is not always necessarily a bad thing. So I just think throw the, I had a list. Before I met Russell, and I had to throw the list out the window not because the list was bad, but because the list was preventing me from seeing somebody from who they are based off who I wanted them to be. Does that make sense? My list was I had to have this, and this. And if a person didn't have that, they didn't get the time of day, but it didn't allow me to see a person for who they fully were. Because obviously if I'm making the list, I don't know everything that I need.
You're holding to the standard of something that doesn't exist. Possibly doesn't exist.
Yeah. And I mean, that person could exist and be totally wrong for me because this is what I think that I want. And I already know based on my previous decision making that even if it's all things that I say are of God that I want, they still might not be the things that I need.
Yeah.
So I needed to create space for somebody to come in and just be who they are and show me ways that I can grow and show me how we can partner together to be perfect for one another versus coming in as a perfect individual. So I would say if you're afraid, you have to deal with the root of your fear before you try to get into any situation, because if you don't deal with that, the fear is going to keep you from getting into any type of meaningful relationship because you're worried about messing up. Messing up is part of the journey. I wouldn't have found you if I wouldn't have kissed all them frogs back then. So
you already had me, and then you went back to the frog. That's what's really crazy. How you fumbled the bag.
Stop trying to cheat me. You went and got another girlfriend. I was just talking to people. You went and got another girlfriend.
You didn't have no boyfriend in between our relationship?
A boyfriend?
Yes. You were in a relationship.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
I weren't.
Wow.
I
weren't? Last I know you like.
I wasn't.
Fumbling. I
was not.
But even in the second phase of our relationship, right? There were key things that were a part of our lives prior to being in a relationship with one another that once we got together didn't work anymore, right?
Absolutely.
High consequential things. It's this is how I live my life. It works for me.
But when I'm with you, it don't. And
Absolutely.
I could have been oh, I'm scared. I don't want to let this go. This is what keeps me protected. But I would have just pushed you away.
Absolutely. Even things like how we parent or, a dynamic between our co-parenting. These are all things that worked for us, worked fine, worked well. And the moment we got together and the other person was uncomfortable with it, it's easy to be oh, okay, you don't work with how I live my life, right, so you don't work for me.
Yeah.
But when you have somebody who shows you that they're valuable, that they love you for real, that they got you, then it's okay, maybe I can change how I do that. Maybe there's a compromise.
Or sometimes it's just a better way than what you've been doing it. So
yeah,
I had to be open to that too.
Change is just not easy. Change is difficult.
It's not.
But it's worth it when you find somebody who can add to your life. And we found that. We did that and we smoked that. So
and we prayed that you find that too. So I would say deal with the root of the fear first. Conquer that. And then get out there. Somebody really, really, really amazing deserves you. So Absolutely. I think that you should jump into that pool just because I know who that one came from. And I think you should go for it.
That part. Absolutely. Number 2, you want me to read it? You don't have your phone out here?
I do, but it's
You want me to read the questions? I'm the
sure,
question.
You can be the moderator. No, I can read it because I want to make sure that we don't do that one that we said we were going to save for next week.
Why? That's okay. We'll talk about that another one.
Okay.
Let me do the anonymous one.
I will. It says, I've been dating this lady since October. Oh, I want to preface this in case anybody else saw this. This one in particular was not a question that was submitted to Ask R&B, but I saw this question on social media and thought it would be a good question to ask here. So it says, I've been dating this lady since October, and yesterday she asked for $1,000 to go towards her kid's Christmas. I told her I can give her $500, and she got an attitude and said that she didn't see why I couldn't give what she asked for. She has 2 boys, 10 and 7, and from my standpoint, I don't have to give them anything. My question is at what point does a man start helping a woman financially? We've been dating for 2 months, and I'm not about to buy her kids Christmas. I'll help, but that's it. Help. She gets child support, plus their daddy is in their lives, and plus he gets them every weekend. Do women expect their boyfriend to financially lighten their load after 2 months of dating? I can afford it, but it's not my place right now. Thoughts?
I don't even know why you read this. You try to trigger me.
I did it.
We talked about this before. I've said it. I'll continue to preach it. God called you to be a provider for your wife. Your wife. You said to yourself, I can help. And the fact that you were willing to give this girl that you've been dating for 2 months $500 towards her children who have a supportive father, like, what are you trying to get them for Christmas? If their dad's already getting stuff, you were willing to give $500, which is more than generous. More than generous. It's only 2 kids. You helping with $500? What does she contribute? Don't get me started.
That's a big question.
I'm sorry. Don't get me started. But the fact you're willing to do that shows your
What
heart.
is your answer to the question where he said, my question is, at what point does a man start helping a woman financially? And
well, you can help financially whenever you choose to do so, but I'd say do it with wisdom, right? Like, there's people who you see on the street who have no connection to, who just holding a sign that you help financially if your heart leads to do so. If it's somebody you're building with, someone who you might possibly see a future with, I'd say that's even more reason to help. Now, there's a difference between help and being responsible for. Like, that's different. Like, you're not responsible for their upkeep and their well-being, but if you're going to be in somebody's life, I think that's a part of, like, being in their life. You would help a friend. I say if you helping friends, then for sure you help somebody who you're sleeping with, if that's what you're doing. Or if somebody you're, like, in a relationship with, yeah, you should help them. But that's with boundaries. That's with boundaries. Because, and I just saw a clip just recently where a woman was like, he was like, she don't cook, she don't clean, yeah. You know, she don't do nothing. And she says, I do all that on girlfriend level. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I'm on a girlfriend, so I cook on girlfriend level. She was doing like, and everybody was like, yes, like, do it on girlfriend level. You ain't no wife. Well, same thing applies, fellas. Like, you're not her husband, and there should be some sense of upgrade when you become like, once that becomes your wife, then those children are not just her children; those are your children as well. So now that $1,000 ain't even a question. Now we don't even got to talk about how much you can contribute, because yeah, these are my kids' Christmas as well, so we in it together. But 2 months of time invested is not enough time for you to be contributing $1,000 towards that Christmas. I'm sorry. The nerve of her to have an attitude about that.
I was going to say, audacity is at an all-time high.
Oh, my God.
At least from my perspective, I couldn't even see myself asking a man for money 2 months into our relationship.
We married. I don't
even know if I still want to be. I don't even know if I want you to, like, be that close up on me after 2 months. I'm very, like, you got to gain access. So 2 months, you still trying to work to get in.
You wouldn't let me take your garbage out at 2 months. I was sitting here having a back and forth with you, like, I'm going past the garbage. Let me take out I got it.
Baby, it's just different type of people in the world, and I can fully accept that. But like you said, now we're 3 years, almost 4 years in, and I still am like, man, I need some money, but I'm not about to
I'm going to wait till I get paid to pay my credit card. Girl.
I'm just not about to do that. I want to get my eyelashes done, but, like, he got paid this week, so I'm just going to go ahead and wait. Like, that's just me. So obviously
you're on the severe
normal.
end of the
I'm
other.
not normal.
You're on the severe opposite end of the spectrum.
This must be
That's a
thing.
problem too.
So for me, if I was responding to this question, I think I am on the same lines as you, as there isn't a specific time. And if you're in a relationship with someone, you should be willing to help. What does that help look like? I think it depends on your financial situation. It depends on your responsibilities and obligations. And it depends on what else, like he said, she got child support. She has a supportive father. You don't need nothing from me.
500 was generous.
Like, you don't need nothing from me.
500 in 2 months. Oh, that dude, he like you.
You see that other man every week, so ask him. I just don't understand that. Now, I do think if I'm taking time to spend with you and it takes time away from your kids, so it's time that you're with them, but let's say you get a babysitter, I can pay for the babysitter. If it's a day where you have them and I want to go out, we can all go out. But Christmas, maybe I buy him a birthday gift because I'm trying to get in their good graces. I don't think that Christmas is one of those holidays where I expect gifts from mom's boyfriend to be under the tree.
He shouldn't even have met them in 2 months.
That's another part.
He shouldn't even have met them in 2 months. And maybe he hasn't. He ain't even met them yet. He shouldn't be buying no gifts. This is, all right, yeah. Stay strong, brother.
Yeah. And I guess another question would be, day 2 and 10, what they do last year for Christmas?
7 and 10.
Oh, 7 and 10.
Yeah.
Even better. What they do last year for Christmas when I wasn't in the picture? How you get the
fine.
money?
That was fine.
Make it work.
Or she got 500 from somebody else. I don't know.
Make it work. Yeah. I don't think she should have got an attitude about it. She asked. I mean, you asked not because you had. What you have not because you asked not. So maybe she was like, look, I'm just about to see where his head is and just asked. And I do think the 500 was more than generous. I think sometimes we get a little greedy out here with our expectations.
Absolutely.
That was a good one. Next.
It was a good one. I'm going to read these 2 questions combined because they're kind of in the same sphere.
Okay.
Should cell phones / electronics be allowed when spending quality time? And what are some tactics that can be implemented when your partner is an addictive scroller?
Man, does that mean since you read it, I have to ask? I got to try to take personal feelings out of it. That's me locking up my personal feelings.
No, I'd like to hear your personal feelings.
If it's quality time, I do not believe that phones should interrupt quality time. There are times where we're at dinner, we see each other all the time. Maybe it is date night, but now that we outside for dinner don't mean that we got more to talk about than we were at home for dinner. So if we're waiting for our food, sometimes we'll both pull out our phones and share funny things or scroll. I think that's okay. If it's intimate, like quiet time, that's another thing. Like, if I need your attention and your attention is somewhere else, I don't think that that's fair. Russell is not, I don't think his phone time bothers me, but his AirPod, what is it called? AirPod being in is a huge problem for me.
Don't even make sense.
I don't like when I am trying to communicate with you and you have your AirPods in and you've completely blocked the world out and it's like, okay, I guess ain't nobody else here and you don't expect us to talk to you right now. That's my problem more than you picking up your phone. Because if you have your phone, I could say, hey, excuse me, need your attention, something. But if I can't even reach you, I got a problem. I throw things.
I feel like she just see me with them on and then be like, now what if I wanted to say something? She come up with stuff to say when I come.
No, that's not true.
There have been times she'd be doing the dishes. Like we're not even sitting on the couch together. She's doing a whole separate thing in the whole separate area of the house. I could be on the couch listening to music with my AirPods in. Mind you, we have lots of kids. And even when they're not all there, the kids are loud. So there's times in this.
What about when it's just me and you?
Sometimes it's just like when I'm listening to music, I want the full experience. But either way, if you're not near me and you're doing a separate activity, it's different when so this doesn't apply to the times where we're on the couch together, we're watching a movie or watching TV together, and I put both AirPods in, which I would say is rare. Now one in, maybe, but there's rare times when we're sitting together doing something like, hey, you want to watch this show? And I put in 2 AirPods and just go off in my own world. That's rare. But if you're doing something else in a whole separate area and I'm on the couch listening to music, like, just get my attention. Just get my attention. Hey, babe. Hey, what's up?
Be trying that. Trust me.
And then it just express like, hey, can you not put your AirPods in? But to think that every time we're in the house together, I'm never going to put both AirPods in. It's just like crazy to think.
I think that
you asked me that. You said, "Hey, when we're in the house, can you just put one in?" Huh? I can't have both AirPods in the house.
Or communicate that, like, hey, I'm about to such and such, and I'm putting my AirPods in. So then I know not to talk to you. I think that's reasonable and respectful. But when we had been having a conversation, and yeah, maybe one of us go off and do something and then we come back. Like, we're in the house together. Our house is fairly small, especially the upstairs.
Hence the AirPods.
So even if I'm somewhere, I'm just talking about even if it's just me and you, and I'm somewhere else and I want to communicate with you and there's a barrier in the way, in my eyes, the AirPods, both AirPods in, communicate you don't want to be bothered.
And why, even if that is the case, why is that? There are times
it's
for like me time.
It's not a problem, but I'm saying announce that, like, so I know, hey, this is his personal time, and I won't interrupt you. But if I'm trying to have a free flowing conversation with you because we live in the same house together and in our close proximity, and every time I try to say something to you, I'm like, Russ,
can't you?
Russ!
And you don't even have to be on that. You be like 3 feet away, screaming my name,
and you don't hear me.
You can just like. So first of all, you can look at me and see I got both AirPods in. You can look at me and see I got it.
No,
and
I can only see one side of your face from the kitchen.
So here's the thing. Now this is good. This is good context. The left one is always in, right? So if you see the right one in, and if you've been screaming my name for 5 minutes, clearly have both AirPods in.
But go ahead.
If you've been screaming my name for 5 minutes, exaggerated, but if you've been screaming my name over and over, clearly have both AirPods in. Why keep screaming when you could just walk up to me and be like, "Hey, babe"?
I'll try you 3 times. If it's 3 times, I'm either going to throw something if I want to get your attention.
It's so irrational.
Or I'm just going to stop.
I just truly don't understand why it's such an irritant for you.
But during quality time, I don't think phones are an issue. I think y'all need to talk about that before. That's what I would say. Because for me personally, the phone isn't a big deal, as big as the AirPods. But I just think, like, I think we've had this type of conversation before. Like, when we go out, no phones. Like at dinner, no phones. Or whatever. Let's do no electronics when we trying to go on the road or whatever. I don't know. I just think it's just a conversation of us setting an expectation. But I don't think you should automatically assume that just because you're with someone, they view it as quality time. That's a conversation that we've had to have over and over again. Like, what is, because that's my love language. Quality time is my love language. So not everything to me, just every time we're together is not quality time. So if you're on your phone, I'm cool with that. But one thing that is quality time to me is anytime that we're like in the car going to do something together. And again, we have the issue of the AirPods in the car.
While I'm driving?
No, while I'm driving and you'll put your AirPods in. So I just think that you just have to communicate that. I don't want to go like down that road or whatever because we already talked about the AirPods. I want to answer this person's question.
You keep bringing up the AirPods.
No, I was trying to communicate like what's quality time and what's an expectation. So I have asked you, like, when we're in the car, don't put your AirPods in.
Like setting expectations.
Yeah. I don't have nobody else to talk to when it's just me and you in the car. Like, and you put in both your AirPods and then I'm just sitting there like,
how often is that happening? Like, when you...
I said I'm not complaining about that. I'm just making a statement about what I needed to communicate to you about what quality time looks like for me. And when me and you are in the car together, it's our time to have any kind of conversation without worrying about who's there. And so to me, I'm asking, hey, during this time, can you not put in your AirPods? And I think whoever, the person who asked that question, could just say, when it's something that feels like quality time to them where they don't want that distraction, just put that out there and say, hey, when we go to dinner tonight or when we go out for date night, can we do no phones?
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable because I don't think it's reasonable to always expect that the other person looks at that as we're spending quality time, depending on the activity.
Yeah. For better or worse, like, iPhones, technology has just kind of changed the way we interact. Like, the moment the phone became like an extension of the hand, like the Steve Jobs did that. Like when he said, I just want to be a part of your body, like it did become that. And it's like, I think people are so used to be entertained now. Like, I remember being a kid if I was with my mom while she was shopping, I was just bored out of my mind. But I was used to being bored at times. Like in church, we didn't have no cell phones. I was just sitting there. Like, did I understand what was happening? No, but I was there. I was attentive. We were used to being bored. Now, at any point you want to be entertained, you could be entertained. Boredom is now more of an inconvenience than anything. So I think we do kind of got to go back to the drawing board and learn how to interact in an old school way. You know what I mean? And if you're bored, sometimes you got to just say that or learn how to like bring up conversation. So if we're sitting there and it's just like the natural thing is like,
pick up my phone.
Pick up my phone. You know what I mean? But sometimes you need to say like, anything you want to talk about? Like, and that's like, what? Why would I say that? But sometimes you just got to do those things. But I think that the answers 9 times out of 10 is always going to come back to communication. Communicate expectations and communicate what you want from this moment. And hopefully the person that you're with is open to that. But what you don't do, and this is chronic scroller's gripe number 1, is if you was on your phone, when you decide to be off your phone, you need to communicate that in a way that shows like, hey, look, we're going to transition. Huh?
What do you mean?
Like if we're both sitting on our phone, don't put down your phone and be like, oh, why you on your phone? We both that used to drive me crazy. Not in this dynamic because that has been a thing, but I used to hate that. Like we both was just on our phone. Now it's a problem because you tired of being on your phone? Because you bored now? Okay.
Okay, I'm putting my phone down. Hey, would you want to put yours down?
I'm in the middle of a YouTube video, so I'm in the middle of playing my game right now. So, you know. But communication.
That was also a very, very good question and something real because it's something that we deal with for sure. So I'm sure other people do too. I just realized that you've been skipping around the list, which is not okay.
Who said they had to be in order?
Because I'm trying to follow. So I'm just gonna go in order again. This question says: so in a situation where the man has been deemed disabled and has a steady flow of income coming in, but the woman wants to be a homemaker and be taken care of, how does that dynamic work? Keep in mind, the man was 10 tones down and took care of the bills while the woman chased her dreams. And now she wants to enter into soft girl persona that mirrors a traditional housewife, but the man does not want to see her throw away her dreams because of this. But it's okay with her taking on the roles that she says she would. Is it considered toxic masculinity?
I'm not sure I understand the complete scenario.
So what it seems like to me is woman was out there getting it. Man is now disabled and not able to work, but still has income coming in. And now girl does not want to work anymore. She just wants to be taken care of. And man probably doesn't have that that ability right now. Is that fair for him to say, no, don't throw your dreams away. Continue to work. He said, is that toxic masculinity because he's asking her to go out there and work while he cannot.
He's disabled?
Yeah.
No. I think when you with somebody, like you're also with what they're going through in life currently. Like if you're unable to work and you're with someone who is demanding that you do that past what you're able to do or past what's healthy for you, for them to just live the soft girl life, I think that's a little selfish. I think that's selfish. I think if you are in any relationship where what you desire is always on the back seat to what they want, you need to evaluate, is this a situation that has a healthy balance of us meeting each other's needs, or are you in a relationship that's highly predicated on what one party wants and you're consistently trying to meet that standard at the expense of yourself? That's an impossible scenario to stay happy in.
Yeah, I think that when we get into situations, we don't think about, that far down the road.
Yeah.
We're together now. This is the dynamic. We rarely think about what happens if that dynamic changes. And I do think sometimes when dynamics shift and change in relationships, it can expose the validity of the relationship. So especially in a marriage, if we talked about this before, if we're saying for better or worse, if you were able-bodied before and now something happens that you're disabled, I've made the commitment to stick with you through that. And that may require me to change what my dreams and hopes for the future were. So maybe I did think we would work really hard, and then after 10 years, I would stop working and turn to the soft girl life and be taken care of at home, and you would still be out there in the workplace. But because something happened and changed that, my dreams and aspirations kind of have to change with our situation. So if you are no longer able to take care of me in the manner in which we discussed previously because of a disability, not just because you just don't want to, I have to be able to flex with what our current situation is. So if my husband cannot work, guess what? I'm going to work, like, period. I just think that because we are not looking long-term about how situations can change, and we're not flexible in our dreams and desires when we get into these relationships, we just think it's going to be my way or the highway. That's where you have to make a hard choice and see, is this really somebody you want to be with, who, now that you're not able to do things the way that they thought it should go, they don't want to work with you.
Absolutely.
It might be a situation that you just don't want to be in.
That part. You got to be comfortable not being in it. Number 5, what about unrealistic expectations of what a housewife or a husband is supposed to be? For example, you have someone who meets about 90% of what a husband should be. He's good with your kids, provides, protects, etc., but isn't handy when it comes to fixing things around the house. And his pockets are tapped when it comes to getting them done, because his money went to paying the bills, making sure he has enough money for gas to get to A and B. Is the woman supposed to contribute to making sure this is done, since it will avalanche down to the affecting the rest of the household? Or is it primarily the man's job to ensure it gets done?
Same answer.
Yeah, same answer. So I have a close friend who has more of a traditional model to his household. His job goes to all of the bills. So in the instance where there might be an emergency situation or something needs to get done around the house, plumbing issue, whatever, the kids need clothes or shoes or whatever, the wife's income will go to those things, because, his money's been used to do, A, B, and C concerning the bills, the mortgage, and stuff like that. So, I don't think that's unfair to say. I think these things you got to discuss at the front. Like, get an idea right at the beginning of the relationship, right? So if you're listening right now and, you're at the beginning of a relationship, or maybe you're not in one yet, these are the conversations that we start having when we start getting serious. What do finances look like for you? Do you like more of a traditional? Oh, okay. So what does that look like? And these are the scenarios you bring up, because this is the stuff that trips people out as you've been with them for a year, 2 years, 3 years. You've got emotions invested, and then you get to this point where something concerning how you function in life financially, or, just the flow and ebbs and flow of life, you're like, oh, this don't work. I don't like this. You got to have those conversations in the front end.
Yeah, and like I said in the previous question, just like be open to change. If a dramatic life-changing situation happens and you have to be flexible in order for your household to still function and your relationship to work, then you have to do that. We can't just be so stuck in our ways that we can't change when it's required.
Absolutely.
Okay, so in the last episode, you mentioned looking at a relationship as a business transaction, because that's how something was presented to me. And at some point, it's like, okay, we tried it your way, but now it's getting to the point when you have to look at putting your 2 weeks notice into it because the job is no longer serving me. Is it a selfish way of thinking when you don't feel like your cup is being poured back into?
I don't think it's selfish at all. I think, once again, if in your even if it was a business transaction, there's an even give and take in business. And I wouldn't suggest you have a relationship that is functioning as a business, because there's just so much more that we as people need from a relationship that's outside of just making sure that the affairs of life are taken care of. Like, there's so much more we need. We need support. We need love. We need somebody that's going to hold you up spiritually, somebody that's going to pray for you, somebody that's going to be in the trenches with you outside of just making sure that the lights is on and that there's presents under the tree during Christmas. It's so much more to it than that. And if you don't have those things, you're going to feel it when you need it the most.
Yeah, I'm going to take this because when I made that statement, I was talking about marriages. And so I'm just going to keep it in that context for this question. And I believe that marriage is so, I'm going to put it like, what's his name? Kev on stage and his wife said, marriage be hard. And the hardest part of a marriage is not who going to pay the bills and who going to take care of the kids.
That's light.
Like,
that's real
that
light.
will be, if y'all can figure that out, that is the easiest thing that y'all can just conquer and be like, okay, let's go on to the next one. I think that we are too focused on those minor things that really don't affect your day-to-day life. If y'all know that bills need to get paid, you will figure out how to pay the bills. If you know that your kids need to be taken care of, you will figure out a way to take care of the kids. And you will do it in a way that works for your family. Like Russell said, having somebody that has your back, somebody that's going to pray for you, somebody that's going to be there with you when you can't take care of yourself, somebody that's going to go through the trenches when life hits you upside the head and you don't know which way is up or down. That is so much more important than who's going to pay the bills and who's going to take care of the kids. If you do not feel like you are getting that much out of a relationship, that you know that that person is down for you and willing to sacrifice to make sure that your happiness is paramount and you're willing to do that for them, it's not a situation that you need to be in. And it's not selfish if you are not getting that bare minimum out of a relationship, the love, the support, the protection, and the provision that you need. It's okay to leave because life is going to start to life. And if you can't get those basic things from a person, when it hits the fan, they're going to be nowhere to be found. So if you're not getting what you need now, I would say it's okay to have a conversation about it. And it's okay to make a decision based on the response that you get. I'm not going to say divorce because I don't suggest that for anybody because it's real trash. But I do think that it's time out for being stuck in situations where we're not getting anything from it.
Time out for being stuck. End it. More on that. More on that later. I'm going to skip around a bit so we can just spice it up.
Go ahead.
Number 11. How do you introduce kinks to a vanilla partner? Vanilla is a term used for people who have a very
less adventurous
sexual appetite.
Whew. I think start slow. So if I'm just gonna go there, if you like butt play and you know you like butt play,
You just went straight there.
yeah.
Huh?
You heard me say I'm just gonna go there. You know you like
still wasn't ready.
you know your person maybe doesn't have experience in butt play or just is turned off to that, but you really want to get them to explore that. I think you start off light.
What's light butt play?
Toss a salad, tickle a butthole,
Oh, you
something
just jumped.
light. You did it. You answered this. That's light before you go to like penetration.
That's light?
Yeah. See, we have two different ideas.
So you need to.
What's light?
I don't know if this is apparent from the podcast, but I'm mad vanilla. I don't think I knew that, but I would say I'm vanilla. But I'm like a really good vanilla. It's like
You're like French vanilla.
it's like gourmet
with the vanilla bean.
It's like, man, it's
Not
just
imitation vanilla.
It's like, man, it's just vanilla. And then you're like, oh my God, I've never had vanilla ice cream like this. But it's still vanilla. It's just a really good one. But
You're like a vanilla sundae. Like vanilla with whipped cream and
little-
cherries on top.
yeah, there you go. Little razzle dazzle on the top. It's still vanilla, but you still a little razzle dazzle in there.
I'm Rocky Road.
We're very compatible.
Cookies and cream. I don't know.
We're very compatible. So I don't know
a
how.
lot of stuff mixed in.
I feel like you more vanilla than other.
Lies.
Where is it at?
I just know who I'm with.
So what are things that you would like to explore that you haven't?
Why are we making this conversation about us? Like, okay, so the other day when we went shopping and I saw them leather tassels and I wanted you to come over there and try them and you were like, absolutely.
No, you wanted to whip me.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah.
There you go.
Yeah,
There's
nah.
one example. You need another one?
You ain't finna beat me in the middle of the mall. Baby, come here. Look, first of all, I'm a black man. You not gonna whip me in a public place. Look,
it might be a good role play.
we walking down the mall. I'm thinking she with me. I look back. She not with me. She stopped at this leather. You know, it wasn't even a store. You know, like the little kiosks that be in the middle, little stations. It's leather belts. This the most.
It wasn't a belt though. It was tassels.
I know, but let me paint the picture. Okay. It was the most red. Mm-hmm. It was the most Caucasian display in the mall. There was a man there who I'm almost positive doesn't have upper teeth. There were Confederate flag belts and belt buckles. And here she go, babe. I turn around. Whoosh. Come here. No, I'm not. I'm okay. She's like, what's up, babe? Whoosh. Come here. No. And this ain't the place for that. You ain't finna whip me in front of the Confederate flag.
What? You need another example?
You ain't finna whip me in front of the Confederate flag in the middle of the mall in Jackson, Michigan. You have lost your mind. You've lost it.
I thought it was a little spicy.
Too spicy for me.
See?
Too for me.
Anyway, but yeah, I think that's the way that you do it. First of all, you start with a conversation. If you know that sex is a big deal for you, you should probably be with someone who's sexually compatible. I'm going to just say that blank. So if you know that your kink level is very high, that's something that you should discuss early on. Not too early to scare them off, but early on, before you ever venture into having sex with that person, you should discuss, hey, I like these sort of things. Is that something that you would be into? Sometimes people lie and they say yeah until they get into it. So I just think starting off slow and then gauging where they are and then take it to if they open to it, just keep leveling it up. I don't think you should ever just put the first time having sex, you just put it all out there on the table and display your full kinkiness to someone. It's levels.
And also, like, prior to like engaging in sex, there should have been like mad conversation about what you like, what you don't like. Like, don't be with me for 3 years and then like 3 years in a relationship, I find out that you like feet. Don't just spring that on me. Like,
what if it's a new thing?
Well, then that's when we have conversations. Mm-hmm. If you just start year 5, you just like, man, I don't know why, but feet's been doing it for me lately.
Yeah.
Like, you just need to have that conversation. Like, hey, like, if I wanted to do this, like, would you be open to it? And if no, then, you know, now we having conversations about that.
Mm-hmm. But baby steps. I think baby steps are always a good, like, try it.
Yeah.
You might like it.
And like one of the most impactful scenarios to your sexual life is also your intimacy, comfortability, right? Mm-hmm. So when we're sharing that space with somebody, it should be somebody who we're extremely comfortable with, right? And when you have that, it makes everything else that much easier. So maybe something I haven't tried before, something I'm unsure of, but if I'm comfortable with you, then it gives us more ground to be like, okay, I trust you in this area. So let's just see. You know what I mean?
And I think too, it goes to without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyways. No means no. So if you try to introduce something to somebody and they say no, you have to respect their no. You can't think that you're gonna continue to bring it up or there's new tips or tricks or tactics to get the more vanilla person to become more chocolate. No. If they're vanilla and you know they're vanilla and they say no to certain things, you have to respect that.
That part. And y'all getting a little crazy out here. Y'all be mixing up kinks with perversions.
Yeah, stop watching Pornhub.
There is some stuff that's like, okay, this isn't kinky. This is perverted. Like, you're not gonna ask me to put on a diaper and think that that's kinky. No, you're a child molester, sir.
Hey, I don't think that necessarily correlates, but yeah.
If you want me to appear younger in sex and you want me to act like a child because that turns you on, that's not kinky. That is perverted.
Yes, like, I agree with that.
Like, what? Why does the bib turn you on? There's something we need to explore here. Like, huh? Like, this ain't kinky. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
right?
I do think that the scale of 0 to kinky is wide open nowadays.
Like if we having
Wide
sex,
open.
don't talk to me about introducing the house pet. Like, no, I'm not going to bring the dog in here. Huh? That's not kinky. That's perverted.
Yeah.
That's bestiality, ma'am.
There are some desires that are just completely unnatural, and you probably shouldn't be exploring that versus trying to get someone else to come to the dark side.
Y'all be putting vanilla on people because they not into like, no, we need to talk about this.
No, somebody said I was vanilla because I said it was gross. I said, what did I say? They was gonna get syphilis if they spitting in each other's mouth.
Yeah.
Still need to know. Nobody has answered me on what part of putting saliva or loogie in somebody else's mouth turns you on.
It's the same part of like whipping people.
It's like a humiliation factor.
Yeah, like if you take pleasure in hurting me, that's what I don't get. It's like, yeah, I want to whip you. What do you get from causing me pain? That whatever's in there is the same thing of I want to spit in your mouth. Huh? Like to me, they go hand in hand. You want to beat me, you want to whip me, you want to.
Baby, but you like some of that stuff.
What?
You like spanking? You like pulling hair?
I don't like being spanked.
No, but you like dishing it out.
No, don't do that. I like pleasing. So if I'm with somebody and I'm not getting the vibe that that's what they want, then I'm not going on a lane.
So you think it pleases me to put my hair?
Yeah. If I do it and you're like, like if your eyes go, oh, she like that.
No.
So first of all, I don't do that a lot.
Go ahead.
Do I pull hair a lot?
I'm just saying, you do stuff like.
So this is the vibe I got from you, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not your put our business out there. But on the honeymoon, I was
I'm
like,
with it. I'm just saying.
Hold on.
You don't have to
Don't
call
try
it
to no,
perverted.
don't try to cut me off now.
I don't like my hair being pulled, but I do like being spanked.
But
I fully embrace that.
I was exploring the rougher side. I said, let me just experiment and see what she like. You know what I'm saying? You responded very well to some aggression.
Hey, I love it.
So in my mind,
Tell me what to do.
Their hair pulling was along the sphere of aggression.
Yeah, nah.
I think you such a thug in real life that in that area you want to be more like, take me. Don't hurt me.
I know. That's not true. That is not true. You know
be like you like a little rough. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I don't be like, oh, take me, don't hurt me.
No, that's being dramatic.
Like hurt me more.
Huh? See, it don't be me. Did you say about why you pulling my hair? Huh?
No, I don't like my
You
hair
just made me
pulled,
pinch you. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
these locks took a little bit of time to grow, and I love having my hair this long. You be pulling, it be like, I hear that little fibers in the. I'm like, oh Lord, you about to pull out a lot.
You gotta say something. I'm thinking like she like it rough. Let me just give her the rough.
Not that rough.
I don't. But see that thing like that stuff don't do nothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, people who are pleasers, it's just whatever I'm sensing. Like okay, she likes it. Ooh, if she likes it, I like that. I just like feeling like you know what I mean. I'm doing it for you.
Yeah,
I
hear that.
Yeah, but we haven't sex episode in a minute. We have not. We have to do it.
We'll have to do it in the new year.
It has to happen. What time is it? Should we do another one?
Let's wrap it up. Save the rest for the live.
All these? Wait, that's not a lot.
No, it's not. I think some of them are just lengthy.
Absolutely.
And I'm hungry.
Absolutely.
And it's Christmas. Merry Christmas. You did the wrong one. You're supposed to do the sprinkles. So I gotta go like this. Merry Christmas.
Hope your holiday is well. We will be back live on Thursday.
Yes.
8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Meet us here on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you like to stream at. We'll be there. I will suggest Facebook has more engagement. So if you like talking to other members of the What They Never Told Us community, Facebook's a place to be. If you like a little more isolation and you want to make sure that you feel special, it's like, oh, I'm just here in the room by myself. They're going to see my comment. YouTube is the way to be. So
or Instagram.
Oh, I forgot we on Instagram now too.
We're on Instagram Live. So we'll be there Thursday, 8:30 p.m. ish. It's always ish because
we be working through stuff.
We black people, we ain't never on time.
We got kids. Look. We trying to plug in lights and stuff. Like, give us a second. We'll be there. But yeah, can't wait to see you guys there.
And we hope that you, again, enjoyed your holiday and you're ready for the new year, new start. Leave all that drama behind in 2023, 2024. We going at. You ready?
Been ready.
Let's go.
If for some reason you didn't submit a question, it's not too late. We're going to be doing some more on the live episode. So if you do want to ask a question, maybe just slip your mind, you forgot to do it, you still got time. Hit us up before Thursday, and we'll try to get your question in there.
Or pop it in the chat. We answer questions on live all the time. So pop it in the chat and we'll be ready for you. Until then, always remember that we love love.
And y'all should love love too.
Peace.
Peace.